Hi, and welcome back to the Wasteland Podcast. I'm your host, Syatt, and I'm so happy to have you here. Whether you watch or listen, and if you didn't know, you can do both on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, your neighbor just has their window open, however you consume the podcast. I always have food on the mind. However you listen or watch the podcast, I really do appreciate it. And if you would like to be a guest, or if you know somebody who would like to be a guest, email me, wastelinepodcast@gmail.com. That's wastelinepodcast@gmail.com. By the time next week's episode comes out, you will have an email from me. If we've emailed in the past about you coming on, I'm doing a whole new slew of interviews, so you'll have an invitation for me to reserve your time. I would love to have you on. We can keep it as private as possible. You don't have to give your full name if you don't want. You don't even have to show your face if you don't want to. But I'd love to see your face. I'm sure you're very beautiful and or handsome and or whatever word you prefer. I just would like to talk to you. I really do enjoy these because everyone has a different story, and I think that really shows itself in today's episode. My guest this week, his name is Olivier Mankondo. I'm very proud of myself for pronouncing that. He lives in the UK, and he lost 77 pounds years ago. I think it was like 5 years ago. And it's been multiple years. I didn't write that number down, and I apologize. But it's been multiple years. He lost 77 pounds, and he's kept it off, and he's done that by going entirely plant-based. It's pretty interesting. I know that diet or way of eating might not be for everyone, but it's very big right now, and apparently we talk about the differences between being a vegan and going plant-based, and Olivier even takes it a step further, and for 12 out of his 14 weekly meals, he only eats raw vegan or raw foods as opposed to cooked, and he talks about the benefits of that. I do want to say before the episode starts, I'm not a doctor. Olivier is not a doctor, and not every diet's going to work for everyone. So please don't start a new diet because you hear me talk about it. Look at me. I'm not any sort of health expert or influencer. I want to talk and hear different people's experiences. So I'm not qualifying anything Olivier or I say as medical advice or the true. Who even knows if it's true, but I do know for Olivier it's true. So please check out Olivier's website, Olivier, Olivier. Look at that. I did that without even looking. Olivier. I was right. Mankondo, MANKONDO.com. And Olivier has taken the program that worked for him and has that on his website. So go check that out. I do want to give you all a quick update on myself before we start the episode. So I'm getting close to a year. I'm getting a lot closer to a year than I ever expected to. This week, starting today, the day this comes out, will be week number 38, which is very surprising. I've never lasted this long before, and I'm actually really happy that we'll see what I weigh in tomorrow, but last week what I weighed in at was 223.6. So I'm back on the losing track after that 2 weeks ago I didn't lose. I'm down 112.4 pounds, and I did a little bit of a sneaky check this morning, and I've already lost a little bit of weight. So this week, as long as I don't stop at Krispy Kreme on the way home like I'd love to, it's going to be pretty good. But I had a great week. I got to say, anyone, and trust me, I've started dating someone with 2 little girls, and I need a nap. I need a nap, and I need a hug. They're very cute girls, and I actually really do enjoy spending time with them. But after spending I think a total of like 4 or 5 days with them, like full on days, like the little one, the very young one, was up at like 5 a.m. and just doing laps. Like the fact that I was a chubby kid, it took some work because this little girl was running laps around the house at 5 a.m. Like I don't even know what. I don't think I've ever had that much energy. And I'm sure if we got my mom on here, she'd be like, "Oh, you did." But she was running laps. I got in the pool with them. My lower back hasn't hurt that much in years from a workout that I've done, because I did this thing where like they would sit on my shoulders and I would just jump, and apparently doing a weighted squat with a young child on your back put some strain on you. So that I'm going to thank both of them for any weight I lose this week, because they are directly responsible. But I've been actually honestly having a good couple weeks with the diet. I feel like I might be extending my my not cheat day, but my Tuesdays, my weigh-in days where I eat a little bit more. I feel like I might have gone a little bit overboard. Like I had like half a bag, or not, maybe a third of a bag of goldfish, and I know, especially for the old me, that's not too much, but I know. And I know it's not a race, but I was going to say if I cut that out, I would lose the weight more quickly. But I also, who knows, maybe the fact that I give myself a little bit of a break for a day or two during the week is helping me sustain this. I don't know the answer. And to be very honest with you, we were supposed to get a hurricane. And it turned out the news, well, it wasn't wrong, because unfortunately a lot of people did get hit with the hurricane, but luckily, I'll put it that way, luckily the worst of it seems to have missed us. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon on Monday, and as of right now it's rained a little bit, but I luckily haven't lost power and no flooding. But this is actually how I gained a lot of weight during the beginning of last year, or not the beginning of last year, but the beginning of the lockdowns and everything, is I got panicked and went and got a bunch of food and ate it all immediately. So because of worrying about power and all that, I went to the store and I asked, and I'm not going to blame her because this was part of my plan all along, but I was able to justify it with her. I love Cheez-Its. I love Cheez-Its almost more than anything. If I could only pick one junk food to eat, Cheez-Its would probably be one, at least for the salty choices, would probably be number one, and I haven't gotten to have them. That's why I had goldfish last week, because I went to the store. Look, I'm tasting it in my mouth right now. I went to the store and they didn't have Cheez-Its, so I got goldfish. But when I went to the store this week to get hurricane supplies, they did have Cheez-Its. So I have a bag of Cheez-Its, and not the huge one, but like a regular sized box of Cheez-Its waiting for me, and I've been saving it for tomorrow. I've been saving it for Tuesday, and I'm not gonna have the whole bag. I hope, but I am gonna have a good amount of them, and I don't want to fall in the trap, because in the past when I've lost weight, this is kind of how I start going down the wrong path. I slowly become less and less strict with myself, and I don't want that to happen again. But on the flip side of saving a bag of Cheez-Its, I tried something last week that I wanted to tell you guys about. I know a lot of people talk about cauliflower rice, and I've had it once before, but I had like someone made it homemade. They actually took a head of cauliflower and made the rice, and that was very sweet of them to do that with me, but I didn't enjoy it. It tasted too much like cauliflower, and I didn't enjoy it at all. And I got, is it like Green Mountain? There's a brand of frozen vegetables that I am now blanking. I'm going to go to the store today and get some more. But it was like a cauliflower rice / risotto mix, and I added some mushrooms to it and some peas. And the reason why I really liked it, I first of all, the taste, I couldn't taste that it was cauliflower. And the reason why I also enjoyed it was I I made the switch from pasta. First, I made the switch from pasta to rice, and then from rice to couscous. And every time I make the switch, the calories are a little bit better. But couscous, a box, still has about 600 calories, or exactly 600 calories. And I usually have somewhere between a third to a half of a box with a meal. And it's not a ton of calories, but the cauliflower rice that I tried, instead of an entire box being 600 calories, an entire bag, which lasted 2 meals, is 60 calories. So it's a big difference. And it allows me, even if I still have the same amount of calories, by cutting out that many calories in something that really didn't make a difference. I think I definitely like pasta more, but rice and couscous, I might like a little bit more, but it didn't destroy my meal. It's not like, for me, and I know a lot of people love it, but for me, the keto thing where I don't get to have bread and I'm eating a sandwich with a rolled up meat and cheese, that's not sustainable for me. I would lose my mind and run and buy a baguette. So the fact that I can have the cauliflower rice and still enjoy the meal almost the same as much as I would have enjoyed it with rice, it's a switch I'm willing to make. So I'm still very much on track, but I'm trying to be more aware of the pitfalls that I used to fall into. So I just wanted to give you guys up to date on myself, and that sentence didn't make sense. I wanted to keep you guys up to date with how I'm doing. That sentence makes sense. I'm gonna leave the first one in there and just let you laugh at my brain. So thank you very much for watching and listening. I do want to give a very quick shout out to our sponsor for this week. Our sponsor is Sheath Underwear. To celebrate the 100 pounds I lost, Sheath sent me their underwear. It's great for guys like me because, sometimes when you're starting to exercise or when you're bigger, the regular underwear just doesn't cut it. Stuff flops around. You don't want that. Sheath Underwear is a supportive, soft material, and what makes them stand out is they have a 2-pouch compartment. What do you put in there? You put in, I don't know, a candy bar? You could, but it's going to melt. No, the pouch is for your special area. I'll put it that way. And it's great. It's very supportive. It's soft. I look great in it. I like the way it feels. And I like even more about it is that the owner, Robert Patton, is a U.S. Army soldier. He thought about this idea didn't think about it. He created the idea on his second tour in Iraq. And if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. Do me a favor. Go to sheathunderwear.com and use promo code Syatt, SYATT, to get 20% off of your first order. That's 20% off at sheathunderwear.com and using promo code Syatt. Every order comes with Sheath Underwear's 100% money-back guarantee. That's sheathunderwear.com, promo code Syatt. Get Sheath Underwear and let them support your balls. And they support me, so I appreciate them, and I appreciate you for supporting them. So thank you very much to Sheath Underwear, and thank you for watching and listening, and thank you to Olivier Mankondo for coming on to this week's Waistline Podcast. You're looking great, man. I saw in your email that you said you're down like 70 pounds. That's amazing.
Yeah, 77 pounds to be exact.
Yeah, no. When you lose weight, you're like, I know down to the ounce how much I lost, and so that's awesome. How long ago did you lose the weight?
Sorry, how long?
Yeah, how long ago did you lose the weight?
Yeah, 5 years ago.
And you've been able to keep it off.
Yes, I've been able to keep it off, no problem. Yeah,
that's amazing. So
yeah,
you did it in an interesting way. Is that you did it now? You're fully plant based. You don't eat any animal products.
No animal product, no dairy product, no processed food, just whole food. That's what I eat.
Wow. And how? Okay. So, do you mind if I ask how old you are?
Yeah. I'm 51.
You're 50. Wow, you look great for 51, man. That's awesome. Good for you. Maybe I should stop eating animals. So how were you eating before? Were you big your whole life, or how, what was that like for you?
Yeah, I've been big all my life, and I thought maybe it was in the genes because in my family, all of us were big. And basically, what I was eating, it was animal product, dairy product, processed food, fast food, junk food, anything.
Sounds like
That's
my
how,
diet. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I was eating. And I remember even at midnight, I had to eat my bottle of Coke with some biscuits or some cookies. So that's how I was eating all the time. And during the day, I was grazing constantly.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's God. It sounds like you had a camera in my bedroom. That's exactly the way I. I mean, I don't really eat that way anymore, but I still kind of do. So like, just from my point of view, I've heard. So are you vegan? Is that like a word for you, or is there a difference between vegan and plant based?
Yeah, I think there's a difference in the sense that vegan, they are mostly, it's ethical. They just don't want animals to be slaughtered. They don't wear clothes made with animal product and stuff like that. But
Okay.
plant-based is more the medical side of it, where you want to be in good health and stuff like that. So I started in that way. Uh, so when I changed my way of eating, my health was better. I get better. And after that, I starting to discover that basically eating animals and all that was not good. And now I'm trying to incorporate all this stuff. So for example, I don't buy any more leather clothes and stuff like that, but I still use the old one that I've had because
Right.
yeah, I spend my money on it, so I will not just throw them away. I'm
And you
still
and you,
using it,
you
but
look good in it. I'm sure you look great in leather in a leather jacket.
yeah.
Um, so okay, so let me just from my point of view, it's and it's not impossible. A lot of people, especially when you're losing weight, are like, oh, it's gonna be so hard. It's the physically like I saw a video yesterday that I thought was interesting. They said to lose weight you need to eat like a dog, and just what he meant is like you eat the same stuff every day, and the whole like I think at least for me my um hesitance or inability to like stick to a diet before, it's not because like the food tastes gross or I don't have food. It's I like cheeseburgers, and
Yeah.
it's a hard mentally to make that switch. And when I hear plant based like diets, like I actually went on a couple dates with a vegetarian, and it sort of to me it seems like I'd be eating mostly like sides. Like I don't know, it just seems like a hard switch for me to go and completely cut out animal protein. How hard was it for you to make that switch?
Yeah, for me, it was not that hard because I remember one day in 2016, I was watching a program on YouTube, and it was by an Indian yogi. His name is Sadhguru, and he was talking about um, how consciously do we eat. And basically, was saying that eating animal product was not designed for the human mechanism. And by stopping eating all this food, you will be able to basically stop with 70% of the chronic diseases. And when I heard that, I said, this is what I'm going to do, because before that, I was suffering from high blood pressure. I had massive headaches every day or every other day. I had dandruffs, chest pain, back pain, abscesses, joint pain, and my weight at that time was 220 pounds. So when I heard him saying that, I said, "This is what I'm going to do," and I went full on it, and it was not difficult because in my mind I knew that that was I wanted to do. And usually in my life, when I take a decision, I can stick to it, and that's what I've been doing. And it was not really difficult. And yes, we people think that when you go on a plant-based nutrition, you will just eat sides, like you said, but there's a lot of things that you can eat. You can eat potatoes, sweet potatoes. You can eat plantain. You can eat mushroom. You can eat beans, lentils, peas, aubergine. There's lots of food that you can eat. And
So, can you like? And I know every day is different, but let me put it this way: if you were gonna have your favorite food for a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but it's plant based, what would that day look like?
okay. First of all, I don't. I only eat twice a day, so I
Okay,
don't have breakfast. So at midnight, I will have just fruit. So, for example, today I had 3 bananas. I had some grapes. I had some nectarine. I had what else? So I will just eat a bunch of fruits.
at
And
midnight.
no, no, at noon.
Okay,
At
noon.
noon.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, at noon. And at 7 p.m., I will eat fruit as well. So because like I said, I only eat twice a day. So it's 14 meals a week. And
Right.
out of those 14 meals, I will eat 12 will be raw and 2 will be cooked. So
Wow. Okay.
when it's raw, I will have some fruit at night as well at 7, or I will have a big salad. And when I eat cooked food, it will be, for example, I will have some plantain banana with some beans and some spinach, for example, or I can have potatoes with mushrooms and cauliflower. So that's how I will do that. And why do I eat only twice a day? It's because 80% of our energy goes to digest food. And
Right.
you can only heal and cleanse when you're not digesting food. And that's why I only eat twice a day.
So, and why do you have so many meals that are raw and not cooked?
Because when you look at raw food, they are packed with live enzymes. But when you cook the food, you destroy these enzymes, you destroy some vitamins, some nutrients, and stuff like that. And when you eat cooked food, your body will have to produce more those enzymes that you've killed in the food. So your body will have to produce that, and you will have to spend more energy. So your body will spend even more energy digesting cooked food. But when you eat raw food, it's packed with enzyme, and your body doesn't have to spend a lot of energy to digest the food. So it's very easy for the body to digest raw food.
Okay, that's interesting. So, what do you? It's I don't want to put this. So, like for example, I had a trip to Colorado, and before I used to love eating out, especially when I was on vacation or something. I loved going to restaurants and finding them. But I actually, when I was in Colorado, I went to the grocery store and I got food, and it wasn't plant based, and it wasn't. I cooked it in a microwave, or I had like a tuna fish that I just made in the room, but it was harder for me. What do you? How has like travel or like social situations? Does that? It sounds like if you've been doing it for 5 years, the answer might be no. But was that hard for you to get used to when you were going out or on the or traveling or anything like that?
Yes, it was hard because, especially when, for example, you go to visit friends, they don't know what to give you, or you go
Right?
to
Yeah.
a
Like,
party,
here's a
you go,
banana. Yeah.
yeah, you go to a party, it's really difficult. But if, for example, I have to go to a restaurant now, a day, it's a little bit easier because there are a lot of restaurants which are vegan friendly. So you
Right.
can still have some stuff to eat. But I remember, yes, in the past, it was a little bit difficult. It was challenging when you go somewhere and people don't know what to give you, or you go to a restaurant, the dishes are very limited, but now it's getting better.
Do you bring like if you go to a restaurant, will you bring your own salad dressing? Like, do you ever worry that they're gonna put something in there that you're not supposed to have?
Usually, what I do, if I have to go to a restaurant, I will make sure I will tell them that I'm vegan. I will make sure that they don't put side that I don't like. But I just don't remember bringing my own stuff to the restaurant. No, I've
Okay.
not done it yet.
So when you
Yeah, but
start,
I remember one day I went to a party and I had
okay.
to bring my fruit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. So when you were starting, did you jump right in 100%, or like what when how did you start this? Was there like some tricks, or like like if someone else, like I'm basically trying to find out if someone watching or listening to this
Yeah.
wanted to start a plant-based diet, what's a good or easy way to start?
Yeah. So for my own experience, I went cold turkey. So like I said, it was on a Wednesday. On a Wednesday, I watched that program, and I said to my wife that I'm just going to stop eating meat and all that. On Thursday, I went to work. When I came back, I asked her to cook me my last meal of meat, and it's been 5 years. I've not touched that any animal product anymore.
Wow.
But what I say to people, maybe that's not a good way to do it, because when you go that way, you will have a healing crisis. You will, for example, the first week when I changed, I had massive headaches for 3 days.
Oh
I had
no.
more abscesses. My joint aches more. And if you want to avoid that, you need to go step by step. So that's why I will advise people, if they want to go plant-based, they need to do step by step. Maybe instead of having animal product for every day, for example, they can say, okay, I will start with 5 days a week. And then maybe after a couple of weeks, they can go down to 4 times a week. And so they can go step by step instead of going to cold turkey, just like me.
Okay. And I have a friend who did a juice fast, and I did one too, and I ended up gaining the weight back. But his issue was he had too much fruit, and but he drank it, and because of that, he actually got diabetes just from the sugar and the fruit. Do you since you're eating so much fruit, do you find yourself like, do you have to watch your sugar intake, or has that not been an issue for you?
No, no, it's not an issue, because what you have to do, you need to make the difference between the sugar from the fruit and the refined sugar. When you look at the sugar made from the refined sugar, when you have that, it goes straight into your bloodstream and
Right.
it creates a spike of insulin. But when you eat the fruit from the sugar, it's not bioavailable, which means that it will go first. You will have, first of all, to digest the fruit. The fruit will go into the small intestine, and in the small intestine, you've got stuff like hair, like stuff which is called villi, and this will absorb the nutrient. And then there will be a small amount of sugar in your system, and there will be not much insulin needed to digest it. I mean, to do all the job needed to extract the fruit, the sugar from the fruit. So you need to make the difference. And for example, in my own case, my blood sugar, when I was eating animal product, it was at 47. At 41. Today, I'm eating tons of fruits, but my blood sugar has gone down to 37.
Wow.
So I think it's a misconception. It's not the fruit sugar that gives you diabetes. It's when you eat the refined sugar. That's the refined sugar, which is really, really bad for you.
Okay. That's interesting. So, have you, first of all, you said you had one last meal with meat. Do you remember what it was?
Yes, it was. Most people don't eat that, but it's the stomach of the cow.
Okay.
Most people they don't eat that, but I
The,
really, really liked it.
that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, everyone.
yeah. So that's what I had.
What is the dish called? Do you know? Because I've
No,
heard
I
of
don't know.
haggis, but I think that's a sheep. Um, so, uh, since you used to like meat a lot, and I know
Yeah.
you eat a lot of raw now, but what you do cook sometimes, and I know you're in the UK, so I would imagine they have it, but I'm not sure. They have a lot of plant-based meat substitutes now, like
Yeah.
Beyond Meat. Anything? Have you tried anything like that?
Yes, I've tried it. I've tried it, but the problem with me is that at the end of the day, they are still processed food, because when you look at processed food, they've got uh, additives, coloring, preservative, which are substances not recognized by the body, and they create havoc.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, and when you eat, even if it's plant-based, but they are still processed food, so I will have them uh, as a treat sparingly, but it's not something that I will have every single day.
Okay, got it. So that's interesting. So you mentioned that you had medical issues
Yeah.
before you started this. Did you
Mhm.
w- w- do your doctors think that it was like simply switching to plant-based that fixed it, or like are they all gone, or are they just like lessened? Like how did the how do you think the plant-based diet affected all those medical issues?
Yeah, because when I was suffering from high blood pressure, my doctor told me that I'll be on medication for the rest of my life. That's what he told me. And at that time, when he told me that I'll have the medication for the rest of my life, I didn't know what I know now. But I said, no, I'm not going to take the medication like that. I will have, if I have, I will have to buy the medication over the counter, but I'm not going to be on medication for the rest of my life. So 4 months into me changing my diet, I went back to the doctor and they did all the blood tests and my blood pressure was gone. And they asked me, what did I do? Because they told me that I'll be on medication for the rest of my life and you
Right.
can't cure high blood pressure. That's what they told me. And they were surprised that my blood pressure was completely gone. And I told them that I went on a plant-based nutrition. And one of the doctor told me that, yes, he told me that his mom went on a plant-based nutrition as well. And they were able to find some relief from what she was suffering from. But as a medical doctor, they cannot prescribe these kind of things. They can only prescribe medication or surgery.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but all the symptom that I've had, like my blood pressure is gone, no dandruffs anymore, no back pain, every single stuff is gone. And for the past 5 years, I've not been sick a single day, not even the cold, the cough, the flu, nothing at all.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. So, is there? I know you said that you heard that yogi speak. Is there any sort of material that you recommend for plant-based diet, like anyone who wants to read or watch a video or something?
Yes, for example, they can read the book How Not to Die by Michael Dr. Greger. They can read the book Your Health Journey by Dr. Fred Bichy, or they can read a book, Timeless Secret of Health and Rejuvenation by Andrea Moritz. And if they want, they can read my book as well, because I wrote a book,
Oh, you
which
have a
is the,
book? Okay.
yes, my book is The Plant-Based Nutrition, How It's Going to Change Your Life. They can read that, is available on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. That's and I noticed in your email that you said you also you're helping other people get onto this diet now. Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct. Yes, I've got, if people go on my website, which is oliviermankondo.com, I've got an online, 8-step online weight loss program that people can go on it and they will be able to transform their lives. Yeah.
Awesome. That's very cool. I'm not gonna lie, it scares me the thought of not having meat or any of that stuff. I'm hats off to you, man. That's amazing. But hey, you look the proof is in the pudding, as which you can't eat anymore. But
Yeah.
it's you look great. I'm very happy for you, and thank you so much for coming on today.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Olivier Mankondo. Again, Olivier Mankondo, MANKONDO.com. Check everything out that he has to share with you. I really appreciate him coming on, and I appreciate God. Like I said, I'm no medical professional. I can't validate that anything he said was true. I've heard there's a lot of people on this diet, so I believe him, and he seemed like a trustworthy gentleman. And I mean, the proof is in the pudding. He's in his 50s. I don't know if he can eat pudding. He probably doesn't eat pudding, but he's in his 50s. He looks amazing, and I just love talking to him, and I love finding out what works for people, because it might not work for me. It might not work for everybody, but there's people who are being very successful on the plant-based diet. And I think it's important to be open to new scenarios. So thank you very much to Olivier for coming on. Thank you for watching and listening. If you would like to be a guest, please email me wastelinepodcast@gmail.com, wastelinepodcast@gmail.com, and by next week you will have an invitation for your session, and we can talk about all the lovely workout and diet tips that you have, and that what's worked for you, and maybe what hasn't worked for you. So I really do appreciate it, and I appreciate the support, and I also appreciate Sheath Underwear. go to sheathunderwear.com and use promo code Syatt to get 20% off of your first order. That's sheathunderwear.com and use promo code Syatt, SYATT, to get 20% off of your first order. Thank you for watching and listening, and I will be back next week on the Waistline Podcast.